Hi, everyone. It's Marshall and Ethan here. We're really excited to share a bit of a short discussion here today about something that is coming the end of this year in December. And I just want to start out asking you, Ethan, um, get us started here. Why are we taking time in December inviting people to do the same thing?
Yeah, great question. So I kind of like to explain this through usually a story of like what led me to Thailand when I was younger and why it's become my favorite country out of probably over 40 countries I've been to now in my life, why I continue to go back and just want to immerse myself in this culture. So when I was 21 years old, I moved to Los Angeles, California from Rhode Island, just a small little town. And I moved there with the dreams and the hopes of, being successful, being rich, and having everything that I thought society made me want. So a nice job, 9 to 5, making $500,000 a year, whatever I wanted at that time, a Porsche 911, meeting the coworkers after work in a nice suit and drinking martinis. That's what I thought success meant. And California is a very unique place. When I got there, there was a lot of interesting people that I started to connect with. And one particular guy was sitting at my bar one night and he just sold his company for 9 figures. I tell this story all the time. And of course, as a curious, eager, young 21-year-old, I'm like, what advice do you have for me? And this guy was very stoic. And he was just like, well, what do you want to do right now? And I said, well, I really want to travel. And he's like, but I need to make money first, right? We all think this. I need to make money first before I go start to do the things I want to do in my life. And he's like, well, where do you want to go? And I said, well, I really wanted to go to Thailand. I don't know why. I think at that time I may have saw like a magazine at the doctor's office that had Phuket, Thailand, these beautiful beaches, the monks. And I was always fascinated by Buddhist culture as well, and stillness and meditation and law of attraction. I was put on Adderall medication at a young age, so meditation really started to help me get away from those doctor prescribed drugs and to kind of work through my over excessive thoughts and mind. So I was curious on that aspect as well. And the guy looks at me and he says, book the flight, book it tonight. And I really like took that to heart and I booked the flight. Literally that night with my buddy Cody. We went to Thailand for 10 days and it really changed my world because while I was there, I met people that were spending more than just 10 days there. They were there for a year and they were really stretching the dollar, but it was who they were becoming throughout that year that interested me the most. These people that were 21, 22 years old had this gratitude for life and this like curious and wonder for life that I just kind of became addicted to. So I went back home and then I booked another 4 months in Southeast Asia. And while I was there,
Wow.
yeah, so
So sick.
we're not going there for 4 months. Don't worry, guys. But we are really going to encapsulate my favorite things that I did within those 4 months, within this 10 days while we're there. And it's kind of why we put this together. So while I was there, I faced the deepest, darkest parts of myself. Not having what I grew up with in Western society. It's very different out there, but I started to see some really amazing and interesting people. And I met this one girl that was like, hey, I just left this monastery in northern Thailand. I was like, what? It's like, I was able to live with monks. I was like, really? So I committed to living with these monks, and we lived with the monks for 8 days when I was 22 years old, and that really changed my life. And a lot of ups and downs throughout this journey, but I'll never forget the happiest woman I ever met was this woman cooking pad thai on a beach in Phuket, Thailand. And she just was so happy and grateful, and she needed nothing. She was probably making $1,000 a year. And I was so interested in her because we're growing up thinking that happiness means having all this money and all these things, but it's a little bit different over there. And we're not saying to come here and be a monk, but there's a lot that you can take from these people and this culture to bring into your life in Western society that's really going to drop your shoulders in life and really give you some peace of mind and some really, really amazing tools that you can use in your life just to be a little bit more grateful. And I'll guarantee you that's going to lead to even more success in whatever it is that you choose. So that's kind of like a small synopsis, Marshall. I'm trying to keep it short today. I can usually go for 20 minutes on that story, but for the sake of this video here.
Yeah, I really appreciate you breaking that down because, I mean, what I would like to know and the questions I've been getting when talking to people about doing this is kind of what type of people are going to be there. Are we looking at something specific? Is it diverse? I mean, what would that look like in terms of the people who will have the potential to make friends with, or at least get to know?
Yeah, really good question. So when I first started DreamState, my company that we do masterminds all over the world, we do coaching. It kind of was in the beginning like an extension of solar, right? And a lot of people that are listening to this are, maybe are in solar, and that's really not what this is going to be. Of course, there's going to be some people that are in solar and in business there, but it's the goal that we have is people from all walks of life. So I just had someone commit this morning who lives in Las Vegas, and I met them in Medellin, Colombia. And they're going to be coming. Just a very interesting girl that's looking to really grow and level up this year and find more stillness and peace and connect to her purpose in life. So the people that tend to come to Dream State are people that are looking to connect to their dharma, to their purpose. So I would just say, to answer that in short, is it's going to be people from all walks of life, but it's definitely not going to be a place to come here and booze for 7 days. Of course, if you want to let loose a little bit, like by all means, but this is not going to be a party. This is really going to be focused on the name, which is to know thyself. And we're going to be doing some really, really amazing things there, and it's going to be really fun and enjoyable. And some things might be challenging because to know thyself is not easy. But one thing I can guarantee is you're going to leave this journey, if you decide to come, with relationships that will last a lifetime. And my goal with everyone that I bring to a retreat, I've been quite successful at this, is I want you to say to me at the end of this retreat, say to Marshall and I, that was the best experience of my life. That is my goal.
And I don't doubt that we'll get there for everybody. I've been to Asia a few times. I've been to Asia a few times. Nepal, China, Korea. Thailand, this will be a first one for me. And I think what's really interesting is, as Ethan and I were discussing the type of experience we want to create together in Thailand and somewhere I've never been, right, was really, we were just talking about what we want the, I guess, takeaway or the experience to be like. And we both thought of the phrase "know thyself" without even talking to each other. And that's a profound thing. Not that we both knew it, but the know thyself concept. The better you know yourself, the more aware you are of what you actually want, the easier it is for you to go out and get it. And knowing what we want can get really bogged down by a lot of the distractions and resources that we have in the modern age. So for me, I know that I'll be able to bring more opportunity for everybody coming to embrace awareness and presence in the moment and make that a tool for succeeding at higher levels. Because a lot of the time, I'll never forget it. I had somebody who I was working with when I was in a really distressed period in my life and in my business. And he said, there's more to growth than closing more deals, is what he told me. And I remembered that. And when we say closing more deals, it's anything. It could be if you're in some kind of sales job. It could be if you're a parent, right? Like
Picking up overtime, a nurse or a cop.
Exactly. Anything like that. It's just so important to really know what you want. And it's really hard to get there if you don't put time and energy into it. We feel like if we just go and do things, we'll figure out what we want. But really, it takes some intentional time, energy, and money to decide to know yourself better in a world that makes it really hard to just really know who you are, right? You're always trying to figure out who other people are and what other people are doing. And this is not meant to make you like selfish, but it's meant to get you to ask certain questions And so for you, Ethan, like, what do you think people should do or be thinking about in order to prepare for this experience that we're going to create?
Yeah, it's really, there's not too much. The biggest thing and the most important thing is to come to Thailand with an open mind. To come here with an open mind, to leave all your expectations at home, and just show up. Um, there's not much homework you need to do before coming. There might be a lot of homework that you'll have to do when you leave, though.
Hmm.
And that might be some interdimensional, some homework that you're gonna learn because you're gonna get a lot of downloads on the things that we do. And I'm sure on the one-on-one calls that you schedule with Marshall and I, will go deeper into what that will be. But there's not much homework you got to do, but there will be homework to do when you leave. Now, if you do decide to do the bike ride, the 130-kilometer bike ride, do you want to step into that now a little bit, Marshall, or did
Tell
you?
us, give us a breakdown. What is actually going to be happening in Thailand? Bird's eye
Okay.
view.
Okay, so the first 5 days, so December 3rd through the 8th, we're going to be staying in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is one of my favorite cities in the world. Wait till you guys see this place. I mean, you're going to get off the plane. There's going to be temples all over this city. There's the old city, which is a square. It's beautiful. We're happening to go in at a really amazing time. So there's going to be Christmas events going on throughout the city. There's going to be an art and design convention throughout the whole city. Not convention, but festival throughout the whole city while we're there. We're going to be training Muay Thai within those days. We're going to be going to elephant sanctuaries. We're going to be working out as a group. It's going to be pretty remarkable. There's this little food truck that Anthony Bourdain sat at, and probably the best. I usually don't eat pork, but I do when I'm in Thailand at this. And the best pork and rice you'll ever have in your life. And, Anthony Bourdain has been to this city and talked about it. So we're going to be doing a lot of really unique things in Chiang Mai. And that's just a little synopsis. I don't want to give you too much right now. And there's going to be a lot more that we'll add to it. And then on the 8th, which is actually my birthday, we're going to wake up super early and we are going to start the trek to Pai. Pai is, the way I call it, is a hippie's backpacker's paradise. This place is awesome. And it's just nestled 130 kilometers into the mountains. And when we did our first DreamState retreat to Thailand in 2023, about a quarter of us that went did this bike ride. I want to be very clear on this. This is not for the faint of heart. I don't want to scare you away, but I want to set proper expectations. It's 130 kilometers. That's 82 miles for us Americans.
Yeah.
And we're climbing about 11,000 feet of elevation. So it's not going to be easy. There was 5 of us that started on the 2023 trip. Only 3 of us finished. So you got to
They
be
didn't
in
die.
decent
They
shape.
didn't die,
They
right?
didn't die. Yeah,
They just
they just
stopped.
they just stopped and got in the vehicle. So that's also an option as well. If you're just like, whoa, do I need to almost kill myself to finish this thing? It's like, no. If you can't make it, there's a bus that you can hop in. And if you don't want to do the bike ride, you just take a bus. It's super simple. But one thing I'll share is struggling through companionship is really, really profound. Doing something challenging with a group of friends will really add to the experience for you. And we have from now 6 months until this to this journey, so you can start adding some biking and some cycling into your training.
Yeah.
Get your VO2 max prepared because it'll be worth it. But 130, 82 miles, 10,000 feet of elevation. We will have a safety crew with us, a bus. They'll be giving us food the whole time. That is just going to add to the list of things when you're at your Christmas dinner with your family. Wow, I went to an elephant sanctuary, I trained Muay Thai, I biked, I cycled 130 kilometers to the Chiang Mai Mountains, I lived with monks. You did what, John?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You did all this in the past 10 days? You'll be talking about these experiences for your lifetime.
So we get into Pi after either busing or biking up there. I'll be biking. Excited for anybody who's going to join us. But when we get there, we're going to have a day just kind of in Pi, and then we're going to be living at the monastery, a monastery, for 3 days.
Yep, so when we get to Pi, it'll be the 8th at night. We're going to have hotels booked for everyone, and we'll have a night to enjoy Pi. Pi has a really cool nightlife, and they have a little, it's called Walking Street, where they have some of the best street food I've ever had in my life. So once we get there, we'll enjoy the Walking Street. We'll probably celebrate at one of like it's not like a club because like I said, it's like a hippie town. So it's just like karaoke and these type of things. It's really fun. So we'll probably have a night to, finish off our retreat not at the monastery. And then the next morning we'll wake up, we'll have some breakfast, and then we'll head to the monastery. We'll get there around 12 o'clock. And the monastery, we are going to spend 3 nights, 4 days there. So while we're
Do
there,
people have to have experience? Sorry.
no problem.
Do people have to have experience meditating and being present like that at the monastery?
Really good question. No, not at all. When I first went there when I was 22, I thought I meditated before, but I did not. And I actually had our good friend Clay, who's going to be coming, ask me, he's like, dude, I've had 3 knee surgeries. Like, I can't sit and crisscross applesauce. Don't worry, they have chairs. I also had a knee surgery, so when I was there in 2023, I couldn't sit on the ground. So they have chairs that you can sit in. So it's really made for and intended for the novice meditator. One thing that you do need to commit to is leaving all your beliefs at home. If you believe in Christianity, Catholicism, whatever it is that you believe in, like, you're going to be a monk for a couple of days. You're going to learn about how they live their lives, and you're going to commit to practicing. So that means waking up at 5 a.m., giving your offering, your rice offerings to the monks, having breakfast at 7 a.m., having a meditation at 8 a.m., and the meditations are walking, sitting, lying. And then they do talks where you can actually ask the monks questions. This is where I find a lot of value. I was able to ask the monks what they believe about ADHD medicine in the US, because this was something that I grew up on and I was very interested in, about like the US is pumping drugs into kids. And it was very interesting, their thoughts on that. So you'll be able to literally ask real monks these type of questions. And then the next meal is at 11 a.m. So you have both your meals before noon. Now, after your last meal of the day at 11 a.m., you have your next meditation at 2:30. After that, then you're like sweeping leaves and being mindful, trying, you're not going to have your phone, by the way. Like, if you want to check it, they have Wi-Fi and all that, but if you have some kids and you're running a very important business, but our goal is to try and leave that away and take care of things before, so we don't look at that cellular device while we're there. And then night meditation is chanting and another meditation. And they do have like a little snack shop there, so you can bring some Thai baht, which is the currency, if you're really hungry, because you're not used to only having 2 meals throughout the day, but it could be good practice to schedule in some discipline there. But you'll be able to get noodles and chocolate and snacks and whatever you want. They have at the little cafe there. But we'll be doing that for 3 days. And then on the 4th day, we'll wake up, we'll do the offering to the monks, we'll do morning meditation, and then we'll catch a bus back to Pi, and then we'll all say our goodbyes.
Love it. I remember I went to a temple and monastery, I believe it was. It was mainly a temple, a Buddhist temple in the Bay Area, San Francisco.
Cool.
And this was 2019, and I had a very similar experience. We did a meditation, we cleaned the monastery. So I will say, like, this was at a point where I was grinding every single day, right? And I took 1 day off of like 10, 12 days of not working, or I'm sorry, of working, only working. And I did this, and they fed us. Like, it was vegetarian. It wasn't like massive amounts of food. But I remember there was this banner that said, "When in action, perfect action." And it's so fascinating because we are taught, and this is a great takeaway that I think everybody will get, multitasking isn't really real, right? There's so many things we want to do all the time. But when you're in action and you are fully focused on delivering the results or completing what you are on action for, your results are significantly better. And for people like me and people like you, Ethan, and the type of people who are here, we want to achieve great things. We want to do big things for ourselves, for our families, for our future, for our lives, for our communities, all of this stuff, right? For our financial situation. And that's something that we want. And you will get more ability to focus on what will get you there by coming to Thailand and having this kind of experience and doing it with people who have a strong intention like you do. It's going to be fun. It's good. You're going to be able to let loose. You're going to be able to enjoy it, but you'll also come away with way more than if you just went on a trip, right? So
Yeah.
there's a few things, Ethan, before we finish up and you let us know your thoughts here. There's some main questions I've gotten from people that are kind of like FAQs. The first one is the safety of Thailand. So can you tell us how safe is Thailand? Things we should expect?
Yeah. Probably the safest country like out of the U.S. and it's safer than the U.S. actually. Now that I think about it, downtown L.A., New York, Thailand is extremely safe. I think it comes down to like their Buddhist culture of just, and it's kind of like you can feel that throughout Thailand. Thailand is called, you know how Florida is the Sunshine State? Well, Thailand is land of the smiles. So you will not feel, I've never felt unsafe in Thailand. And I took a local train. I call it the midnight train to Bangkok. When I was 22, I was in the south and it flooded, and I was on a local train going through like the rural, sketchy parts of Thailand, and I was totally fine. People were like asking me if I was okay. Some older woman gave me a trash bag because my seat broke and I was on the ground that I could lay in and sleep in. So it's like we'll share that story when we're in Thailand all together. But
Yeah,
that's
what a cool story. For everybody here, you will, eh, and this would be a good kind of question here. Everything in this experience is going to be a part of how it's set up, meaning that, you're not going to have to, except for maybe in like the monastery, you're not going to have to go out and organize dinners and food and activities and all this stuff. Like it's going to be a part of the experience. We just want you to show up and be, like Ethan said, open-minded and to come ready to learn.
yeah, and also bring good energy as well. You know, leave all your Western problems at home.
Like, have you seen people or have you seen that get in the way before?
No, not at the retreats. But I usually
Yeah.
preface that. I'm like, come here open-minded and bring good energy. Like, and I say this with a lot of people: be an asset to the group. You know, be an asset. Don't be the negative person. I don't think anybody we'll talk to is going to be like that. But sometimes I like to bring that up.
Yeah. It can be tempting when
Mm.
you're experiencing something new, completely cultural, everything. So, well, this has been great, Ethan. Is there anything you'd want to end off on for anybody watching this and how they can take action?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to reach out to Marshall and I. We're going to have a website put up that you can go through. You can watch this video. Any questions, just reach out to us. Before we do finish up, I just kind of wanted to, we're going to be going through a lot of different, call them teachings and um, different type of masterminds. I just want to hear from you real quick, Marshall. What are you going to
Yeah.
be kind of bringing into this mastermind? This is the first time I've done like a co-collaborative mastermind. I'm really excited for it. People can look at my Instagram and see what I've done in the past and what I'm going to be teaching. But what can they expect and be excited from you?
I appreciate you asking. And I agree. The collaboration here has been really good. And I think that's going to be one of the reasons why this will be extremely impactful for everybody who comes. Because, Ethan, while you and I have some similar experiences and work we've shared in the past, we obviously come from different places. And while I haven't necessarily been out there quite as much outside of the solar world, the industry that we've been in, I'm excited to learn more from you and the people that you've been able to help. For me, I know that there are more people out there like me who significantly overthink and create your own problems and make things worse for yourself than they need to be, and you can spiral like that. And I've experienced that throughout my entire life. Is getting so caught up and so I guess not self-conscious, but just um, living my life for other people, not writing my own story, right? Losing control of my own life and thinking, man, I'm not in the driver's seat right now, right? Those come in different ways for everybody. I want to discover a stronger level of awareness and presence, and create that for you as well in a way that's going to work for each person. And that's what I'm really excited to collaborate with you, Ethan, on, is that we'll be able to make that happen. But this is not prescriptive, right? What I mean by that is when you show up, you're not going to be prescribed beliefs and ideas for you to have to adopt and necessarily build your whole life on. But
Very
I
important.
think you will be challenged in some ways. You need to be open to being challenged and to challenging, right? To being
Yeah.
willing to like ask questions and like, actually, this is a living, breathing thing, right? Where people, like everybody has different experiences, and we all come from different backgrounds. But the closer you get to knowing yourself, knowing what you want, what you really actually want, and how you can serve other people by getting that, and increase your financial abundance and your spiritual abundance, your relationship abundance, all of that can happen by knowing yourself better. And that's my goal, is to contribute to that as much as I've seen in my life, getting out of those zones of sabotaging myself and getting more towards a future that I want to build. And
Mm.
that's what I hope to contribute, is help other people do that.
I love that. And I really like how you said for the people listening to challenge thoughts as well, because if you have a question, someone else is probably thinking as well, maybe they're just a little bit shy to ask. I've been saying this a lot lately. Don't just accept all these truths that people are trying to sell you online. And maybe something I say or something Marshall says, you're just like, I don't know if I don't agree with that yet, but I don't really understand it. Well, ask deep questions. This is going to be a very like collaborative and warm environment, and we really hope to bring that in. I'm not coming here and saying I know the secrets of the universe and this is what I'm here.
Mhm.
I'm also curious, and I'm looking forward to learning from each and every one of you that come as well.
So am I. Coming from backgrounds of where we have beliefs, it's important to challenge your beliefs and also to choose which ones you will stick for. Because if
Mm.
you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything, right? So we want to stand for something. Let's find something that we can all relate to, make ourselves better. And I appreciate you, Ethan. This is going to be amazing. Uh, reach out to either one of us or both of us, and we'll make sure that you know what this entails and how you can be best prepared and make the best of it. So this has been awesome, Ethan.
Cool. Thanks, Marsh. Bye, everyone.
Bye.